Okay, so for section 8.1 we're talking about polygons and how to classify them or describe them. The first word that we're going to define is convex. So if a polygon is convex, then all of its vertices point outward. So for instance, a triangle is always going to be convex. You can have a quadrilateral, you could have a pentagon, as long as all of the vertices point outward. So if a polygon is concave, that means it is not convex. It caves in on itself, in other words. So if we draw another pentagon, this time the pentagon is concave because if you notice, it caves in on itself right here. So this vertex is not pointing outward. So if you want a formal definition, you can check out your book, but I think that these are good definitions just in plain words. Okay, we should all know what equilateral means. Equilateral just means a polygon with all congruent sides. So we would mark those with tick marks. So for instance, if I draw a hexagon with all congruent sides, I would mark them with ticks. Equiangular, we know, is a polygon with all congruent angles. So again, if we draw a polygon, I'm going to draw a pentagon this time. All the angles would be equal, so we would mark those with arcs. And a new vocabulary term is regular. If a polygon is regular, it means that it is equiangular and equilateral. So if we drew a polygon, we'll draw a pentagon again. It would be all congruent sides for equilateral, all congruent angles for equiangular. Okay, example number 1, decide whether the polygon is convex or concave. In example A, you can see that it caves in on itself here, so this is concave. And B is convex because all of the vertices point outward. Alright, decide in example number 2 whether the polygon is regular. Explain. So to be regular, all the angles and all the sides have to be equal. So in A, this is not regular. Why? Because this side has two ticks and this side has 1 tick, so that means that all the sides are not equal. B, this is regular because all of the angles are marked with the same number of arcs. All of the sides are marked with the same number of tick marks. And C, this is not regular. Why? Because it is not equiangular. If you notice, we've got an obtuse angle here, we've got an acute angle here, and then this is actually a concave polygon. And to be regular, let's go ahead and add in that description that it needs to be convex. Okay. You are responsible for the checkpoint, so go ahead and we're going to pause the video and complete the checkpoint. And then we're going to come back and do class notes. Okay, let's check the answers here. Convex or concave, and then we're deciding if it's regular or not. This is convex because all of the vertices point outward. It is not regular because the angles are not all 4 congruent. Number 2 is concave because it caves in on itself right here, and it is not regular. If it's not convex, then you know it's not regular automatically. And number 3, this is convex and it is regular. It's convex because everything points outward. It's regular because all of the angles are congruent and all of the sides are congruent. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the class notes. It says draw the polygon described. You want something that is equilateral but not equiangular. Try that. Okay, you could have something as simple as a rhombus, but the angles cannot be equal. So if you notice, I have an acute angle and an obtuse angle, and to make sure that it is not equiangular, let's go ahead and label those angles so that we know that they are different. Okay, equiangular but not equilateral. So now we want all the angles to be the same, but not all of the sides. Think about that for a second. Okay, something that we're used to seeing is a rectangle where all of the angles are the same, but the sides are not. Okay, next one, convex and regular. Convex means that everything has to point out. Regular means that all of the angles and the sides have to be equal. I'm going to do something as simple as a triangle. Sides are all equal, angles are all equal. Everything points out. Convex, but not regular. So everything points out, but not everything is congruent. Again, I do a triangle. You could do anything. It doesn't tell you have a restriction on the sides. And I'm going to mark two sides congruent, and the third one I'm going to mark different. That's going to tell me that it's not regular. So make sure you have enough markings to show that it is or is not regular, is or is not equiangular, and is or is not equilateral. All right, number 2, the polygon is equilateral. Find the value of x and the perimeter. If it's equilateral, that means that all the sides are equal or congruent. So we can say that 15 equals x minus 3. So if you add 3 to both sides, you get x equals 18. So that is part 1 of your problem where it said find the value of x. Part 2 of your problem said find the perimeter. Now you actually don't even have to have the perimeter or the value of x to find the perimeter because we know that one side is 15. So we have a 3-sided figure, so the perimeter would be 15 plus 15 plus 15. So your perimeter is 45 units. Now you might be thinking, well, if x is 18, isn't that the length of the side? No, if you plugged 18 in over here, 18 minus 3, that gives you 15, and then the sides are all equal still. Okay, number 3, the polygon is regular. Find the value of x and the total degrees in the pentagon. Okay, so find the value of x. If it's regular, that means that all the angles and all the sides are equal. So these angles are congruent. So we can say 11x minus 2 equals 108. Add 2 to both sides, and you get 110. Divide by 11 and you get x equals 10. So that's part 1 of your problem, and then the total degrees in the pentagon, again, can be done without even knowing the value of x, because if we know that this angle is 108, then this is 108, 108, 108, 108. So we have 5 angles that each measure 108 degrees. So we could say 5 times 108 and we get 540 degrees. Okay, now you are responsible for the classwork that is on your calendar. Don't forget that you have a test on Tuesday because we do not have a school on Monday, so we have a 3-day weekend. We have a test on Tuesday. Your review packet and your review book assignment are due on Tuesday. And don't forget, you can go to Power Lunch on Tuesday because you guys will eat first lunch.